Welcome back, everybody. 13 and a half past the hour. Time for us to go behind the headlines, and we're going to analyze this great news that we got out of the state of Oregon. As you heard from our headlines, we passed a lot of great bills that depenalize, that reduce some of the penalties that are in our state law for marijuana possession and cultivation. And we have also gotten a lot of changes to our medical marijuana law. So I wanted to run through these in something that was basically inspired by one of the listeners out there who got me on Twitter. You know, I've been a proponent for a long time of this theory called the medical marijuana box canyon. And he asked, how does the passage of these recent bills in Oregon, being a medical marijuana state, how does this inform my opinion on the box canyon theory? And after I thought about it for a while, I think that the passage of these bills validates everything I've been saying about the box canyon. Now, to catch people up who might not know what I'm talking about, the box canyon is the idea that the arc for the fight for medical marijuana is inevitably going to bend toward cannabinoid pharmaceuticals and away from the legal use of the whole plant. I mean, so long as we keep fighting only for medical marijuana and we try to distance ourselves from legalization for recreational use, then we're subject to the frames of medical and medicine, and they're going to want to make the marijuana fit those frames of pharmaceuticalization and prescriptions and doctors and pharmacies and sprays and pills and inhalers, and away as far from possible from the crude smoked plant that the mainstream denigrates as recreational use. Part of the evidence of this is the last 7 states that have passed medical marijuana laws, and the next 2, New York and Illinois, that are debating them, have created dispensary-only medical marijuana laws. Now, there are a couple of exceptions in Arizona and Massachusetts. Arizona, if you're more than 25 miles from a dispensary, you can grow your own. Massachusetts, if you have a hardship exemption, you can grow your own. But generally, the medical marijuana patients are not allowed to grow their own medicine. Instead, tightly licensed growers supply marijuana under strict regulations to highly secured dispensaries that sell it at prices greater than necessary, on purpose, in order to ensure the dispensaries don't undercut the black market. Well, soon enough, the FDA and Big Pharma, and they're going to develop these great cannabinoid medications. They got some third stage trials on Sativex right now. And they'll develop them without the undesirable side effect that we call high. And then the state's going to replace all the plant marijuana with the FDA-approved, insurance-covered big pharma cannaceuticals. Now, the truly needy patients are going to welcome these medicines because they'll be more affordable since insurance will pay for them, and they'll be available at all times. You won't have to worry about, pests or mites or droughts or weird growers or anything. And the people that clamor for the plant, well, they're going to be put back with us recreational consumers as just stoners who want to get high. So that's the box canyon in a nutshell. So how does the Oregon situation validate this box canyon? Because we just got post-traumatic stress added to the medical bill. We got a system of dispensaries for the medical use. We got rid of the driver's license suspension for a pot ticket under an ounce. We reduced the penalty from a quarter pound down to a 6-month misdemeanor. A quarter ounce of hash is now a 6-month misdemeanor. Possession over a quarter pound got dropped from a Class B to a Class C felony, putting the prison sentence in half from 10 to 5 years. Cultivation went from an A to a B, 20 years to 10 years. So didn't everything just get better? With both medical and recreational got better bills this year in Oregon. So doesn't that argue against the box canyon? Well, yes, in a sense, unless you realize that these accomplishments happened in large part thanks to the activism for recreational legalization in 2012. In fact, we tried to pass dispensary measures that are very similar to what's passing here in 3460. We tried passing those a couple of times by initiatives and lost both times. And after both losses, there was pretty much a stall in the Oregon legislature for passing anything. Nothing was moving. But we get a near success in passing a wide open legalization in 2012, and the state just north of us passes a stricter legalization by a wide margin. Then our legislature said, oh, maybe we ought to start taking up some of these pro-marijuana measures. Now, I'm not trying to dismiss the work medical marijuana activists have done in Oregon either. I mean, our biggest victory was SB 1085, getting the plant limit up from 7 to 24 all the way back in 2005. That did a lot to defeat the Box Canyon here because people had access to so many plants. And believe it or not, some of our Oregon activists actually fought against that bill. But never mind. The community also showed its strength when we defeated Dwight Holton for Attorney General and brought in Ellen Rosenblum, very pro-medical marijuana, who actually toured some of our dispensaries, and her endorsement of this dispensary bill went a long way to getting this passed through the legislature. So no doubt that the medical marijuana community has done amazing work in getting these passed, but keep in mind, our medical marijuana activists in Oregon, for the most part, don't make any secret of their activism for full legalization. A lot of the same people and same dollars that worked on the dispensary measures worked on the legalization measures. Oregon doesn't have that sort of medical versus recreational, ASA versus normal thing going on here. It seems everybody's for the legalization of marijuana. It's this threat to legalization that pushes our legislature, just like Prop 19 pushed Governor Schwarzenegger and the California legislature to decriminalize, to try to take away some of the effect of the push for legalization. And on a down note, passage of all these depenalization bills in Oregon is going to make our fight a little bit harder for legalization in 2014 because some of the problems will be alleviated. Some of the costs will go down. But that doesn't mean we don't stop fighting for legalization in 2014 by any means. I'm all for good things happening.
Yep, never gonna stop fighting until we don't have a reason to fight anymore.
And in hour 2, we'll talk more about Box Canyon and take questions on it if you want. It's really more of an East Coast, West Coast thing, like the rap battles of the 90s.
Oh, have you ever met that funny reefer man? A reefer man.